Alright, so it's currently like middle of May, at the time of recording this, and I pretty much just got out of school. Like yesterday was my last day of school, and it needs to be grind time. Okay, it needs to be grind time because Artfight is like a month and a half away, I think. And bro, I started on these rep sheets like pretty much as soon as Artfight ended last year, and I've still not finished them. Not to mention, I'm probably have to go back and redo the ones I did finish because like it's just not how I draw anymore. Some of you might have seen, I have begun to reconsider my art style because I'm just not really happy with it. And you know, if you wanna listen to like the whole reason why, like read my yap session, it's on my community post somewhere. And I don't feel like repeating it. Ciao. Also, I feel like some of you don't even realize I do post to my community tab. I feel like at least like once a week. But yeah, if you want to listen to that.
To make a long story short, I put a whole bag of jelly beans up my ass.
No. But long story short, I'm just changing my entire art style because I just don't like it. So, yeah, before Artfight begins, let's talk about my OCs, okay? But let's talk about mine. Because I've been going feral, because dude, like, nothing, this is what makes me happy. Nothing makes me happier than drawing stupid little animal characters, okay? And so that's pretty much what I've been doing with all my free time lately. Whether it's making an animation meme with one of them or whatever I wanted. Whoa, whatever I want. But yeah, let's cut to trying to finish all the rush sheets for my characters because I'm in the middle of Blair's right now, and oh my god, this is gonna take forever. Because I'm gonna have to redo the sketches with some of them, like, and I don't know if I'm gonna like redo the ones I've done like at this moment because like that's gonna be a lot of drawing, and I don't know if that's something I'm really prepared for. So you know, I think I'm just gonna do the 4 I have not done. So let's cut to that. fan in the background. No you don't. So now it is like June 24th, I think. Yeah, it took me that long to finish 4 ref sheets because I constantly procrastinate. Yeah, so Artfight starts in about a week, you know, like 6 days-ish. And I think the way I'm going to try to tackle this is make a summary of each week instead of each individual day, because oh my lord, that would take forever. And I'm going to try to make this video as least long as I can, because anytime I make a video that's over like 30 minutes or something, CapCut freaks out, and also it takes literally like 12 hours to upload because my internet sucks. But yeah, let's transition into my first week of Artfight. So during this whole entire first week, I was actually dog sitting for 2 houses some days, so I thought that would take up the majority of my time and then I wouldn't be as active. But honestly, kind of the opposite thing happened. Since I had to wake up earlier than I usually do to give one of the dogs their medicine and let them outside, I found myself with a lot of free time between letting them out and feeding them. Plus, I usually didn't have anything else to do since it wasn't my house, so I was on it with attacks, bro. Speaking of attacks, I got 3 whole attacks first frame of Artfight, them being a drawing of Mint from my friend Merrick, a drawing of me from Fair Warning, I'm probably gonna butcher everyone's names in this video, Okalynn, and a drawing of Jenny and Mia from World of Beauty 2. Of course, I screamed at all of them in the comments on Artfight, but before I could get to revenging them, I had to revenge some people I could not get to in time last year, those people being JoyEatsWaffles, Cypher, and Leafers. So I went to work, baby. For Joy, I chose the character Gerald for this lovely attack they made of Jenny last year, and I was a little bit worried about the scales since I've never really drawn them before, much less with a gradient. But I think it turned out pretty cool looking since I also got to choose my own color palette. Now on to Cypher, and for them I chose Cypher for this lovely mass attack they made for me last year and decided to try my hand with some overhead perspective. I think it turned out pretty well, and I'm glad they thought so too. Next up is Leafers, and I chose their character Ren for this lovely drawing they made of my Sonic Sona last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to them last year, not because they attacked me like last minute and I didn't have time to revenge. It was because all the characters were filtered for me so I couldn't see them, but since I follow them, I noticed that they posted a new character that I could see, so I decided to draw them. Now that we're finally caught up with last year's revenges, let's get to Merrick now, and the character I chose was their TADCOC named Lucky. I also happened to notice that World of EV2 also had a TADCOC as well named Vidra, so I decided to create a mass attack. Now in Vidra's lore, they are a reporter, so I decided that they would not only be interviewing Lucky, but my TADC as well, named Vin. Take a shot for every time I say TADCOC. Holy. Since I pretty recently gave her a redesign. I decided to go for a kind of comic strip looking layout and ended up with this. Now on to Okalynn's Revenge, featuring their character Mix. In their lore, Mix is a robot human that has adventures in space, so I decided that is exactly what I'm gonna give her. Space is great since it's about the only background I can consistently do. Just slap some dark purples and blues together, spam a bunch of white dots and blur it a little, and what do you know, dag dabba, you got space background. And here's the finished result, which is apparently canon, so pat on the back for me, I suppose, or a shot in the back from the arm cannon. Wait, I drew an arm cannon? And the drawing was actually canon. So by the time I was done with those, I had gotten 3 more attacks that day, them being a drawing of Viv from Bean1219, a person that did a revenge chain with me last year, so I was excited to do that again this year. A drawing of Jenny from one of my other friends, Daisy Tiger 23, and this next one was actually animated, to which I was flabbergasted since I was not expecting anything like that, of me doing the Gangnam Style dance from the user Screeny. Amazing, dude. So I was back on the grind once more. For Bean, I chose the character Bean the Hedgehog, and I was seriously debating on whether or not I should just do a redraw or something of this drawing I did from last year, because what is that? But I decided to do something different. This time you might have noticed that I've been doing shading and stuff a lot differently with these past few drawings, since I watched this video, which made me have an existential crisis about the way I did shading, since I just figured out what the hell multiplying a layer meant and what a screen layer is as well. Great video, by the way. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. but here's a drawing all gussied up and finished. For Daisy, I decided to draw the character Muffy the Bunny, and I bet she was so surprised when I drew the only Sonic character that she has. Dude, I bet she looked like Ghostface from how flabbergasted she was. But anyway, as you can see, the shoe was unfortunately not shoeing, so that part looks a little goofy, but otherwise, I think it came out pretty nice. And for Screeny, I decided to return the favor since this was the first animated attack that I've ever gotten, and decided to animate them as well. This was honestly mostly because their characters were simple as well, and I figured it won't take me too terribly long. Sorry that the speed pay is a little goofy. This is just like the default one Procreate made since I didn't record my screen, and yeah, speed paints for something that is animated on Procreate don't always look the greatest. Anyway, here's the full quality version since Artfight wouldn't let me send this version since it was too big, but you know, nothing too crazy. Another one of my friends, Feline Girl 2000, attacked Mint, so I decided to attack their character, Mia the Hedgehog. Yes, another Sonic character, leave me alone! I really love the design and colors for this character, so I actually had a bookmark before she even attacked me, so this was a nice excuse to have a bookmark character off my list. After I was done with that, I noticed that Cypher had revenged me with a lovely drawing of me, and that Bean had also revenged me with an animated attack of me doing the Sonic and Tails dance. Okay, you wanna go there? You wanna take me on, pal? I'm gonna animate your character so hard you won't even know what hit you. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but on that day I vowed to get them. And dude, I animated out of my mind on it. But we'll get back to that later since I was actually working on an attack before Bean revenged me, and that attack was for someone named MorroManiac. I first noticed the character Peony when they posted it in a mutual Discord server, and dude, I knew I had to get my hands on this thing. The colors and the design, like, I just love it. This was before Artfight even started, so I just kind of kept that character in the back of my mind until I noticed that they also had an Artfight, and dude, I was ecstatic. That character went straight to my bookmarks. So with this drawing, I decided to be a bit extra, try out some perspective and backgrounds, which, albeit, is a very simple background, but I was trying. I also had basically little to no experience drawing fairy-like characters beforehand, so the anatomy I kind of struggled with, but overall, I really like how this drawing came out. Also, side note, but I posted like a work in progress of something in that server I mentioned before, and I guess they recognized my name, and they also left me a nice comment in there about the attack I made for them, and dude, I was really giggling and kicking my feet. I love making art for other people. After that, I got an awesome attack on Viv from KetchupCarrot and a splendid revenge on Viv from Okalynn. And with that, it is the end of week 1 of Artfight. Now for this week, I still had a couple of days left to dog sit, but I was back in my house for the majority of the week. And now it's time for probably my magnum opus for this year, and that is the animated revenge I mentioned before for Bean. I chose her character Edge since I noticed she didn't have any attacks yet, and I had an idea on what I could do for her power. Since this character's ability was fire, I figured I could do something cool with the shading, and I went to work. And dude, I swear, I just passed out or something making this because I did the sketch in one day, and then I proceeded to do the line art, coloring, and shading like pretty much all in one day. Like seriously, I went into a trance, and when I snapped out of it, I was already finished. But yeah, extremely proud of myself with this attack, even though of course I chose the one character they decided to redesign in the middle of me making it. Since not only was this my first time trying to shade like this, but I also tried out smear frames for the first time, and I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, I sent it to them, and again, I was literally giggling and kicking my feet because they asked me if they could make it their profile picture, and of course I said yes. I love Artfight! Anyway, now on to revenge for KetchupCarrot. I decided to draw their Sparkle Dog, Orion, and just a fair warning, I marked this character for eye strain, so prepare your eyes. But yeah, super fun character, loved his design. Shortly after, I got an attack on Anne from Filletus, so I decided to draw the character Kimi. I was kind of blanking on a pose for this character, but we got there in the end. This is the point where my attacks started dying down a bit, and I was mostly getting stuff for revenge chains, like a marvelous revenge on Mint from Bean, and an amicable revenge also on Mint, and my Sona from from World of Eva 2, running out of adjectives. So I decided this would be the perfect opportunity to get to the people I had in my bookmarks. First I had on the list was MochiiNiko, someone you may have seen mentioned on my community posts. I was looking through their characters and I was originally going to draw one of their Sky characters since I love Sky, but then I noticed they had a Gajinka of Sunny from Nico Atsume. Probably butchered that. I love Nico Atsume. I actually still have it on my crusty old Kindle Fire, and the music lives rent-free in my head, so I absolutely had to get my hands, my gripper, no, on this character. Also, side note, but I'm calling you out, Mochi. Yeah, because you didn't follow me back, but you followed both of my friends back. I literally can't believe you would do this to me, and I'm joking. This is a joke. I know that they're probably like hella busy with their mass attack and probably got a million notifications a day, so yeah. Don't blame you. Anyway, here's the finished product, and now on to a creator that was also semi-mentioned on this channel before, which is Weaselkat. I did their ephemeral animation meme a while back, in which they left a nice comment on, and so I had to draw the character Roxy. Seriously, like, not trying to be like a suck-up or anything, but dude, this animation meme literally brought me so much joy. Like, I literally cannot tell you how many times I rewatched this thing. So, did I decide to be extra and do some perspective? Absolutely. And apparently I cooked because I got a random comment complimenting me on it, so that was nice. Anyway, I love doing this attack, and I'm glad they liked it too. Next up is Kibbster and their character Bubbles. I saw this character pretty much right as Artfight ended the previous year, so it was nice finally to be able to get to it. And their lore, they like to make friends with Chow and Wisp by playing with them with her, you guessed it, Bubbles, so that's exactly what I decided that they will be doing in the drawing. This was also around the time I decided to post a new character, which was an OC based off my favorite childhood stuffed animal growing up named Tuffy. And of course, as soon as I put on my profile that I'll be taking a break from Revenges because I'm drawing the people in my bookmarks, I literally get 3 attacks on Tuffy pretty much as soon as I posted him. Which I'm not complaining, by the way. I love getting attacked. Those attacks being from, oh boy, CHPRebeuca _ Cascada and Tumit _ Tony. I also got an attack on Vim as well from Caitlin _ Lean, so yeah, definitely had my work cut out for. Still continuing with my bookmarks. Next up is EldritchMistake and their character Elijah. Again, I pretty much saw this character last year, and I love their eyeball design. I think it's so cute. Next up is a creator that I've also mentioned on the channel before, thewhiteflareon. This person is actually how I discovered how much I like fentanyl. The music artist, not the drug. Dude, that'd be crazy if it was the drug. I'd actually heard their music before in the short film, which I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce, but I don't know, I guess I just never really seeked out their music after that. But when I originally saw the thewhiteflareon's Pet AMV, that's when I was like, hey, let me go listen to more of their music. So thank you for that. I was originally going to attack their character Snow, but then everyone and their mother was drawing him, so I decided to draw their character Dust instead, since they didn't have any attacks. The leg anatomy was kind of tripping me up on this one. Get it? I'm really so funny, dude. But in the end, I really like how it turned out. I also ended up getting another attack on Vim, humanized this time from JoyEatsWaffles, so that was a nice little surprise that day. Afterwards though, I decided to get to another creator I like, which is eggtoasty. They have this murder drones OC named ASCII, and I truly love their design and how expressive they are. So I decided that that's who I was gonna draw. I decided to do something with perspective on this one as well, which that part came out like I don't know, it kind of looks weird, but overall I think it came out fine. I also made an alternate version with text over it, which I sent in a DM since I decided against using it as the main attacks because it covered up like 90% of her. Now for another creator I enjoy, I know, shocking, which is Willowails. I really like their character Razor, and I think it's so funny. I know that this was previously a Sonic character before they redesigned them. When I watched their Don't You Try to Catch Me meme, like, I don't know, it gave off those vibes. Anyways, I really love this character's design, especially the robot limbs. Like, I don't know, they're so fun to look at, and honestly, I kind of popped off with the colors on this one. Next was FlurryAsf with their character Rena. Super cute character, and then their lore, they really enjoyed playing around with Chow, so I decided to draw them doing that. Every time, bro, it literally doesn't matter how long I stare at a drawing, making sure I didn't miss anything, because I always miss or forget something. Like, look at this. How did I miss that? Next is probably one of the drawings I'm most proud of, which is a drawing of Vela for VeeindaArtfight. I saw this gal on Tumblr and it really caught my eye, as it's definitely one of the most unique Mobian designs I've seen. I also noticed that this was this person's first year in Artfight, so I absolutely had to draw this character. Are you kidding me? I unfortunately didn't change up her pose as much as I would have liked, since all the legs kind of terrified me. I basically just flipped the ref and heavily referenced that, but yeah, had an absolute blast on this one, and the comment they left literally made me so happy. And that was pretty much the end of getting to the people in my bookmarks, and now it was back to revenges. First on the list being CHPRebeuca. I really like their character Goat, thought they were super cute, so that's who I drew. Next was Okalynn for _Cascada. This is their like girlfriend Sona, and I was fighting demons not to draw the two of them together because I was kind of worried about getting burnt out if I did that, so I just settled on her. Next was Tummet _Tony and their D&D character Hideout. Again, was fighting demons not to draw this character with mine because I also have a D&D character and I thought it'd be fun if they were like in a party together or something. But I decided against it because one, again, was a little afraid of burnout, and two, I'm gonna be honest, I know really nothing about D&D and the lore, so like I didn't know if their species would like even like each other or were they like enemies or something, so yeah, I don't know. But in Heidel's lore, they really like knives, so I drew him admiring one, which again, this comment made me so happy. I'm glad I got it right. Also, side note, but I also got a revenge from VeeindaArtfight this day as well with my character Slick, and I was so happy when I got this one. I really love the clothes they gave him. They fit him super well. Next was Caitlin _Lean and their character Kid Bun. I said this in the description of Artfight as well, but I don't know what in God's green earth was going on with that hand. I tried my best to fix it, but yeah. Let's just ignore that. Now that I was all caught up in revenges, I decided to continue some revenge chains, that being one with Bean and another one with WB2. With Bean, I chose to draw one of their teams, which consisted of the characters Dave, Oliver, and Robin, and I sure tried my darndest to give them all dynamic poses, since I kind of suck at drawing characters when they're all like grouped together like that. Also tried to make everyone a full body, but I made an exception with Robin there in the middle since the drawing just looked better with her being a half body. Again, side note, but I also got a revenge from Weaselkat, which I was totally not expecting at all since they got a buttload of attacks. But not only did they revenge me, they also made me an animated revenge of Mint. Dude, when I tell you I was like bouncing off the walls when I got this attack, like I was at a loss for words, bro. I screamed at them on Artfight and then their community post. So yeah, this week was a good one. Next up is, sorry, I think I'm getting a phone call. Oh, I see, it's just. This week ended up starting with a revenge from FlurryAsf with my Sona and Shay, and dude, they got it so well. Like, this is absolutely their dynamic. I love this revenge. But next up, as I said before, is two of World of WB2's characters, Iris and Scarlet. In Iris's lore, she wants to be a popular musician, so I was originally gonna draw her like playing a little song or something for Scarlet because I thought that would be cute, but decided against it since I couldn't really figure out the layout and I wasn't even sure what kind of musician she wanted to be, so I don't know. Instead, I decided on kind of like an album cover look a little. I don't know if it really came off as that, mostly because the canvas isn't even square, but I was a tiny bit inspired by this B&A album cover. I love that show. You should give it a watch if you have Netflix. And I really like how this one came out. Since I was pretty much done with revenge chains at the moment, I decided to attack some people that left me a nice comment on my page. I did this honestly because I was kind of scared that they would attack me when I was going to be busy with something. More on that later. And I wouldn't have time to revenge them, so I went to work with an attack on Flighty Feathers YouTube and their character Alexa. This one was also a Murder Drones OC, so I had a lot of fun with that. I kind of low-key want to make one myself. But yeah, here's that. In between me making this, I also got another revenge from World of WB2 with Anne and Ace this time, so a nice little surprise. Love the scenery. Next was mmwwaahahaaha and their character Ashley, and I was very excited to draw this one since I love Y2K stuff. I kind of tried to make it like if she was in a music video or something like that, since they like music and sing. Again, don't really think it came off as that, but I still think it came out pretty good regardless. The final commenter was Leon Wolfie, and I chose their character Dasher, mostly because it was the only character they had up. The pose was not on my side at the beginning of this, but eventually I got it. Also tried to kind of go for like a Sonic Forces-esque looking background since, I don't know, this character kind of reminded me of that game a little bit, so yeah. there's that. Now, this is when I had to put some work in. My friend Merrick's birthday was coming up, so I decided to surprise her with an animated attack of her character Rabbit. I mainly chose this character since it was definitely the most simple, and I was very concerned I was gonna run out of time since I only had 2 days to finish it. So, yeah, fairly simple animation, but I think it came out very cute. I also ended up getting another revenge for Bean this time, with my Sona, Slick, and Shay doing the Sonic X Shadow Generations pose, which I loved. I come to make an announcement. What is it now? This week started off with another revenge from Filletus this time with Slick. Very cute. Now this is when I kind of made the dumb decision to make animated attacks for all of my friends, not just Merrick. And yeah, definitely one of my most busiest weeks. First I started off with Barely's character Star. I was originally going to do Jellybean, but another case of everyone and their mother drawing them, so I decided on Star instead. This one was definitely one of the longer ones, and of course I chose a character with a design pattern all over them. Literally, what was I thinking? But I just ended up using a default star brush on Procreate and just duplicated that over all the frames. Kind of like how that show Chowder did with their clothing designs. Overall, this animation is decent. Some parts look a little goofy, like the horns, but it's fine. Next up was Daisy and their Sona Daisy Tiger. Dude, this one took forever, bro. I was on the grind for pretty much a day or two straight trying to finish this thing. But overall, again, looks decent. These are obviously not going to be my best work since I was definitely working against the clock with these, but I'm glad it was nice enough for her to make it her PFP. My final person on my list was Fel with their character Salem. Of course, I know I attacked the only other Sonic character that she has, but yeah, this one definitely took me a lot less longer, which was surprising since I wasn't sure about how animating the bandages on his face would go, but again, it's decent. Now you may be thinking, now's your last attack, right? That's all the people on your list. And yeah, you're correct, but there's still a day before Artfight officially ended, and I don't know, I kind of wanted to be attacking people to basically the very end, so I decided to do one last person that had very recently entered my bookmarks, which was Nova by Nova Solaris. I super liked how this one came out. I really love Birdmobians, as you could probably ascertain, and dude, I popped off on the fire, bro. As you can probably notice, I tried with a pre-made brush, but I didn't like how it looked, so I just made random strokes with the pen I always use, and like I said, super liked how it came out. And as the clock ticked down, I submitted my final attack for Artfight 2024 Team Stardust versus Team Seafoam. But what is that? Is that? Uh-oh. TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible since I really just felt like giving my take on it. If you want something more in depth, you can check out my friend's video on it, link in the description. But for those of you who don't know, Artfight had a surge in popularity over on TikTok, which led to more people joining Artfight and participating in Artfight. Even the Artfight Discord server doubled in size over those past few months, which there's nothing inherently wrong with that, you know, the more the merrier, but unfortunately a lot of people who joined this year, I guess, just failed to read the rules before attacking other people's characters, which led to, you guessed it, a lot of rules being broken. There was also the fact that some of the toxic art culture over on TikTok kind of migrated over to Artfight, like people putting in their profiles that they only wanted quote-unquote high-quality attacks and no beginners were allowed to attack them, and some people feeling entitled to a revenge and yada yada, you get the gist. But in my opinion, I feel like the scale of this kind of stuff happening is being a bit blown out of proportion. Like, I'm not denying the fact that this kind of stuff is happening just because it hasn't happened to me. That's not what I'm saying at all. And you know, of course, the more people that join, the likelihood of this kind of stuff happening unfortunately goes up as well. But like, I feel like people were making it out to be like it's just pure and utter chaos over an Artfight. Like, I feel like people don't realize that the Artfight moderation team is like extremely good, and they're pretty much like on top of everything, whether it be something minor or major. Like, for instance, one of my friends accidentally misrated one of her attacks, so all she had to do was self-report, explain in the message that she accidentally mislabeled something, and they had gone back to her within like 5 minutes and were able to correct the attack. Now, am I saying that they are going to be that quick every single time? Obviously not, you know, stuff happens. But at the end of every event, the moderators go through and balance out all the points and check reports and things like that, so they're more than likely to get to you if something happens. There were also cases of people not respecting people's permissions and just doing really dumb stuff, like quote unquote fixing someone's character by giving them a redesign that literally no one asked for, which is wild. Cases where some people were drawing plus size characters skinny, vice versa, whitewashing, just terrible stuff like that. But like all of this stuff has been an issue since like day one. The entitlement, people being rude, all this stuff I mentioned before. Again, not trying to say that this stuff isn't an issue, because it definitely is. People should not be doing that kind of stuff. But I feel like people are acting like these are brand new problems when I'm sure that they've happened before in the past. And yes, it is only my second year in Artfight, so of course I would have no idea of what Artfight was like in like 2017. But when a community gets together like this, there's unfortunately bound to be a few bad apples. But please don't let that stop you from participating in an event that you want to join. That's pretty much my main point. Also, side note, I think I'm kind of guilty over the whole whitewashing thing, since I think I actually did it last year to at least 2 characters. This was my just make everyone's skin tone white era, which, oh my sweet baby Jesus, what on God's green earth was I thinking? Not like the skin tone white, but like the color white, which is why I'm not entirely sure if that still qualifies as whitewashing, but I still want to apologize anyhow, specifically to WoExist and Filet, I guess, and to anyone else I may have done this to. Seriously, I don't know why, but the thought of whitewashing just completely flew over my head last year, and then a few months later I was like, ruh-roh. So yeah, thankfully I don't do that anymore. Again, don't know why I did that, but I'm very sorry to the people that I may have made uncomfortable or upset. I promise I had no ill intent. I was just being very stupid. Overall, I think that this drama will die down and hopefully not be as big of an issue next year, since I'd imagine all the people causing stuff like this will either be banned or just not participate next year, because I most likely get bored of it. So here's to hoping. But really, my main point is, like, I would just like to say that please don't let this kind of stuff discourage you from joining. I promise Artfight is incredibly fun if you just have the right attitude and draw characters that you genuinely enjoy. I hope that this segment wasn't too boring and wait. Okay, I'm so sorry, but I just realized I totally forgot to put in a Leafer's attack of Tuffy and 2 of Daisy's characters. I don't know how I overlooked it. So sorry. Very cute attack. I really love it. And that's the end. Sorry if this video kind of ended off on like a negative note. I just figured I'd put my 2 cents on the whole drama thing, because oh my lord, it was everywhere on my recommended, and I didn't feel like making an entirely separate video for it, mostly because I didn't want people thinking that's what this channel is, just talking about art drama, because that's not my thing and it will never be my thing. Also, I hope that it didn't come off as like toxically positive and like made it seem like I was trying to downplay this stuff happening as like not a big deal, because that was definitely not my intent, so sorry if I made it seem like that. Not very good at this whole yapping about drama thing, but anyways, this art fight was again incredible. I had such a fun year, and I managed to make 36 attacks this year, 6 of which were animated. I'm very glad the moderation team decided to extend the deadline a bit, since I would have definitely not finished those last ones in time if it was the regular deadline this year. Hopefully I can be just as active next year. I have no idea though, because by that time I'll be graduated, so who knows. But yeah, everyone's Artfight accounts will be linked in the description. Make sure to check them out. They're all fantastic, and I hope I'll see you all again. Bye bye!